Longlegs was released, and the marketing for this movie was very well done, but brought with it high expectations. I only saw the trailer a month before the release date while I was checking screens, and immediately it looked like something I wanted to see, even though I'm not the best with horror movies. The trailer was difficult enough for me to get through, because I was alone in a dark screen. The movie was set during the tenure of Bill Clinton and starts off with two different sequences. One of the sequences had a more long leg focus, the other featured our protagonist, the FBI agent, Lee Harker. I liked both of these sequences and the movie intro, and it seemed like it was gearing up to be something special. I felt some joy because of this, buckling up for a thrilling movie-going experience. To go into some more detail, at the beginning we also learned that Harker is a little bit different from the other agents at the precinct. She has some kind of psychic abilities that leads her to being put on the mystifying Longlegs serial killer case. Michael Monroe is good in the role. She's an interesting character, and she seems to like featuring in these kind of movies. And that has earned her the title of Scream Queen. And on the whole, I really enjoyed the first half of this movie. There are some scary moments, and it's a fun little story. You can easily draw comparisons between this and movies like Seven, Zodiac, Prisoners, and Silence of the Lambs. The movie isn't like jump scare horror, it's a thriller with some horror elements, more atmospheric. That feeling of dread as if you are being watched or there is something lurking around the corner. And in this movie, the cinematography and sound design are a big part of that. A lot of the shots are from unique angles that frame something in the background maybe that my brain perceives as a potential threat. There are also these prolonged shots of empty spaces that build this expectation that something horrifying is going to emerge. And when these kind of shots went on, I found myself looking away from the screen because I'm not a fan of being spooked in this way. Some shots felt claustrophobic even, where they didn't show the entire picture or the whole setting. And in my mind, I was anxious that something was hiding in this space that the camera just was not picking up. The sound adds to this anxiety. There is a lot of silence. I was eating the new extra large popcorn while I was watching, and I had to pick my moments to crunch because I did not want to disturb the customers around me. Saying that though, there was also some unique loudness that seemed to break the sound barrier in my screen. And on that point, I think this is a movie that can be enjoyed at home, but an enhanced sound system does make the difference. And horror movies in general are a good outdoor experience. I'm actually going to talk more about this film in a spoiler section because I want to address some things that you probably don't want to know if you are going in blind. I did not know Nicolas Cage was in this film until a day before I went to go and watch it. I also did not know that he was going to be playing the serial killer Longlegs. He's a pretty spooky guy and his face is a jump scare in itself. But as we spent more time with him, maybe too much time, and he's acting silly, singing heavy metal, and I got to give him a real good look up and down, I wasn't afraid no more. So I think it was the fear of the unknown that really put me on edge for the first bit of the movie. And this kind of ties into how predictable I think things became, like how the mum was involved and what was going to happen to the boss's family. The predictability is hard to avoid, but if it wasn't there, the movie could have been seriously shocking. I was also a bit let down by the satanic explanation, especially during the interrogation scene with Harker and Longlegs. I got a little bit lost in the source. I'm not well versed in the theory. I found his face a bit distracting, and I didn't understand what he was talking about. But I know others really enjoyed this part, so maybe I was just a bit flustered. But for me, the paranormal aspect just felt too convenient. For this reason, although still creepy, the last 30 minutes didn't live up to how I felt things were going for the rest of the movie. And for the rating, I gotta take into account that I was still spooked for pretty much the entire movie, and the ending is punchy at least. Overall, it isn't helped by the high expectations I had of it, but I shouldn't really hold that against it. So I'm still gonna be giving it a dreadful 7 out of 10. The cinematography is just a cut above, and that justifies the rating. It's up there with some of the best movies I've seen this year, and I would recommend going to watch it with your friends. The quote of the film today is, "Oh, but it seems I wore my long legs today. What happens if I..." Coming up, I think I'm gonna make a review of Inside Out 2 because everyone wants to know what I think about it. And I'm going to be watching Deadpool and Trap. So until next time,